Hey yogis, it's Lauren Zinbuck with Yoga Through Lauren, and I wanted to share a question, a really good question that someone in one of my classes this morning asked. She said that she's been trying to use the breath to help her fall asleep at night, and that sometimes it's been working, but what's the technique? What's the technique she should really be using to create that sense of relaxation in the body and the mind? Because sometimes we can use the breath in a way that creates more energy and more wakefulness, and sometimes we can use it to create the relaxation response, to trigger the opposite of the fight or flight response. So if you're having trouble falling asleep, here are my two recommendations about how to use the breath. Number one, instead of focusing on breathing into your chest, you want to focus on breathing into your belly. So just lying down flat on your back, you want to inhale and feel your belly inflate. This means that your diaphragm is stretching down into your abdomen. And on the exhale, you just let the navel fall in towards the spine. So the more you're breathing diaphragmatically into your belly, the less your chest actually moves. You're not activating the chest at all. And the second thing that you can do is make your exhale longer than your inhale. When you make your inhale longer or you focus on the inhale, it has an energizing effect, which is very useful in the morning, for example. But when you want to fall asleep, you want to exaggerate the exhale or make it comfortably longer than your inhale. You don't want to force it and create effort. It should be comfortably longer than your inhale. And these two things together, breathing into the belly and letting your exhale be longer than your inhale, stimulates that relaxation response in your brain. So this is an actual physiological response. It's the opposite of the fight or flight response. It stimulates the vagus nerve, which is a very large, powerful nerve that travels from your brain to your heart and then down into your viscera, your guts. And creating tone in this nerve, creating vagal tone, two principal ways of doing it are breathing into your belly and lengthening your exhale. And the more tone that nerve becomes, the easier it is for you to trigger the relaxation response. And you'll start to flood your system with signals, chemical signals, neurosignals that help your mind to calm down and help your body to enter a state of rest. And one final thing I'll add in is you don't want to be the controller of your breath when you breathe this way. You want to be the observer of it. And this can be a hard concept to grasp because we can fully control our breath at any time, and we can also fully not think about our breath and never forget to breathe. It can be fully conscious or fully unconscious. And that's the reason it's so magical in yoga, because it's the only function in our whole system, our whole organism, that's true for. Fully conscious and fully unconscious. It's really difficult to let go of the conscious control if you're any type of control freak, if you're any type of person that prefers to be in control, which is basically all of us. That's the human condition, right? So it can be really hard to step into this role of observing the breath without controlling it. So here's my recommendation for that. Have the intention of watching your breath so closely that you want to observe whether you actually fall asleep on an inhale or an exhale. In my experience, I rarely get to observe that with certainty because I have in fact fallen asleep. But it helps me to get to that point faster because I'm watching rather than controlling. It really helps me step into that role of observer. So there's my 3 tips. Started by saying I was going to tell you 2, and I threw a bonus one in there. So the first one was breathe diaphragmatically into your belly. Let your chest stay relaxed. The second one is let your exhale become longer than your inhale in a comfortable way, not in a forceful, effortful way. And the third one is observe your breath without controlling it. And like a detective, see if you can notice whether you fall asleep on an inhale or an exhale. I hope that helps you get to sleep in a nice, comfortable, restful way tonight. I'll see you next time. YogaThroughLauren.com for more.